All right, hello and greetings. We are doing something a little different. We are trying to find abandoned vehicles in my area. I just went to a stop where I know that there's an abandoned box truck. However, showed up there. I'd driven by the road like 2 days prior, and it looked the same as it had for years. Go by today, they're doing logging in there. So I'll need to come back on a weekend or something because it's not posted, but you know, I don't want to get in the way of those guys trying to do work. So we will leave that for another day. But this is another car that I've known about for years. This is on the path to a pretty well-known rope swing in my area. I got some snow on my boot. As you can see, we're not completely clear of snow here in southwestern Maine, but we're getting there. Also, just as an aside, look, stone wall on this side, stone wall on this side. That means that this used to be someone's driveway or some kind of a through road back during the farming days, the farming heyday of the state of Maine. Is it still here? Oh yeah, oh, it's still here. It's still here. This thing has not moved in a hot minute. It's not a Pinto, but it's like Pinto adjacent. This was like the same era as the Pinto. And in classic Maine backwoods fashion, we got the bullet holes, because of course. And I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it. But anyway, this is honestly a beautiful green color. Obviously this isn't in fixable condition, but I like that green. And if you look in here, you can see that it is pretty much destroyed. Crank windows, obviously. The red interior. And what I assume was a 4-speed, but you can see 3 pedals there. It means it was definitely manual. And let's take a look at this very intact looking engine. I don't know much about 1970s Ford engines. From the look of it, this was an inline 4, because you can see one bank of cylinders. It's a little bit weird that it's off to the side. This looks like where it sat when it was drivable. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. You see that? Peugeot. So this was a Peugeot made in France. Wow. Type and number, serial number. That is weird. So this is a Peugeot. Peugeot is a French car company that does not sell cars in the US. At least they don't anymore. And I guess back in the 70s and 80s, or this looks more 70s, they were selling a small number of cars in the United States. So that's honestly shocking to me, to find a Peugeot in the middle of rural Maine, and it's just junked. And so yeah, you see they got the sunroof. So yeah, this was a sweet ride back in the day, but clearly not anymore. Let's see if there's anything else of interest with this. I mean, I'm not sure what they were doing jacking up the back like that, because it doesn't look like this was used for parts really. They might have, well, clearly they pulled the gas tank, but that's about it. World game, not war games. Something like that. I don't know, some kind of anti-war bumper sticker. And okay, this was bought at Gig Motors in East Hartford, Connecticut. So this thing made it all the way up from Connecticut, and well, that's not that far, it's only like 4 hours, but all the way up from Connecticut, and it has spent the last couple decades at least here in the woods of Maine. What a journey. All right. So here's our next stop. And these have sunk into the mud a little bit since I was last here. But this was just a general dumping ground in the 1950s and 60s. And I'm gonna be careful, there's a lot of broken glass here. Fortunately, I've got boots on. But you can see, I can't exactly tell the age of like this bottle, but it seems to be pretty old. Although it does have a plastic screw top, so it can't be that old. But you can see that, I mean, back in the day, people used to just dump things where they please. And I can't imagine this was good for the environment. I mean, you can even see some erosion, and underneath all that root system, there's just more trash. So not ideal. We've got some cars here as well. This just looks Chevy to me. You can see DeSoto right there, and I'll need to look up if there's a Chevy DeSoto or if that's a Dodge but I mean, you know, old 1950s style cars. Oh, you can make the whole thing shake. And I almost wonder, the paint doesn't look the same, but I almost wonder, it almost looks like this could be one car, and that's the front end and this is the back end. But I'm pretty sure it is two cars total in this mess. But you can see that the dump keeps going. We've got some canned beef steak, or beef stew, sorry. Dinty Moore, whatever. Oh, we got a can of ginger ale. Super Coola ginger ale. Very nice. I'd love a Super Coola right now. And then that looks like a seat out of the car. You can see the springs. And so, I mean, you can even see there's some oil in there. I mean, this is not good for the environment. We're here on a river. This is the Songo River. Normally, I don't give out locations of these places because that is uncouth in urbex culture, but this is on a state park, so I feel like it's a little bit different. Plus, I mean, it's a dump, so if you take stuff out of here, you're doing the environment a favor. I don't take anything. I'm not going to take anything, but you know, whatever. Sebago Lake State Park. This is in the campground area in Naples, Maine. So you know, again, normally I don't give out locations. I'll make an exception for this. But here in the Songo River is where the people of Naples used to just, when they were done with cars, just, you know, push them down a hill, be done with it. Same thing with their Super Coola ginger ale and all of the other various bottles and things. But yeah, so it's a lot of trash, but some cool old cars, and it is kind of crazy. You can see just how long this has been a dump. You can see the bottom of a bottle and some other things where, you know, this has eroded onto it and been filled upon for quite some time. Let's see if we can read. Burdock Distilleries. Federal law forbids sale or reuse of this bottle. Okay. We won't then. We won't sell it. We won't reuse it. We'll just leave it here as a monument to how far we've come in terms of getting rid of our waste. Or have we? Or are we just doing this in a more organized fashion? You tell me. But let's see, what is that? Radiator preventative? Okay. Yeah, bunch of old cans. Probably a lot of PFAS in this area, which is unfortunate. But, you know, these old cars are pretty cool. All right. We are here in a nice little area. Here's some old tires and stuff. Not that interesting, but this is where I said we ran into some logging earlier in the week when I filmed the rest of this video. So I decided to come back on a weekend. It's a Saturday afternoon, and we are now here, now that we're not in anybody's way, but you can see all these ruts. This road has been used. It's weird, last weekend I drove right by this road and it still looked the same as it had for years. And then it was Tuesday or Wednesday that I filmed the rest of the video, and they'd started logging within just that time. So kind of unlucky on that, but they didn't put up any posted signs, so we're good. I don't want to get in their way because, you know, I'm trying to work out here, but on a Saturday, we're fine. So got a little bit of a walk up here with all of the skidders tearing things up. I didn't really want to take my car up this because it was like, oh, well, what I can see I can make, but I don't want to back down all of it if I can't. But we're going up this little hill here. All right, so we're almost there. We're at the turn. This is where I parked last summer when I was scouting for a cabin out here. And here's this fun little golf bag with it looks like a 3-wood. Hope you enjoy my little pun. Yeah, but that looks like the back of a TV. So people have just been dumping shit out here well into the 2000s, it looks like. But yeah, this was the point last summer that I was like, yeah, the car ain't going here. A little backstory about this area. So I grew up very close to here, and my family knew a family who lived very close, like walking distance to this patch of woods, and we would go over to their house. And I remember my sister and I and their kids going out in these woods and finding an abandoned cabin. And I think that might have been the first abandoned building that I just stumbled upon in the woods with people, you know, other than like forts and stuff that are public parks. So that's kind of my bando origin story. So when I started doing this, I said, okay, I don't know exactly where this place is, but I know whose house I was at, and I know which direction from that house we walked. So I was able to, you know, or not able to because we didn't find anything, but I figured it would be in this patch of woods. So there was a day last summer where I spent probably a little over an hour with Jens just traipsing around in these woods trying to find that cabin. We never found it, but we did find this truck. We made it. They didn't move it. Kind of figured they didn't move it because it's so far up here to get a truck like this. Mud season, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. All right. So here it is. Looks more like a dump truck, but you can see this used to be a box truck, probably for some kind of plumbing business. They've used most of the paneling, or salvaged it, I'd imagine. I'm not sure why it would be like that otherwise, but you can see that tire sink in there, and there it is. Looks like it was manual. Had a clutch pedal, and probably had crank windows, and pretty blown out. But 1992 New Hampshire Special Fuel License. That's interesting. It was a Ford, cab over. See the engine under there. So I think this kind of stuff's cool. Just seeing how it's sinking into the mud, and you know, half the back is off, doors are open, door seals hanging around with broken glass in them. Wonder what that circuit looking thing is. Probably had something to do with, like the climate control or something. Huh. I'm also curious as to what this was. Almost looks like either coolant or DEF. I'm not sure if these things had DEF. It might have been pretty much, that's too small for a DEF tank. Although if that's your fuel tank,
Huh. I'm not sure, but let's see. Count the cylinders. It's probably a straight 6. Oop, breaking shit. Yeah, like straight 6. Diesel. Do I see a turbo? Do I see a turbo? I don't believe I do. I might not be looking in the right spot. Yeah, crank windows. See if the windows can go up. Nope. Broken glass could have told me that. Cloth seats, leather trim. This seems like it wouldn't be the worst ride. And I know that's not a sunroof, but it almost looks like it is. And there's sea level honeycomb, so glad I'm going this time of year before the bees are here. But anyway, just a little old Ford box truck left to rot in the Maine woods. So hope you enjoyed this video. We got more coming. And now I'm gonna take a very long walk, but fortunately downhill this time. Here we got another look at the back of the thing. And yeah, so interesting stuff, at least I think. So hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below what you'd like to see next or what I can improve on. And I hope everyone has an excellent week, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.